Depression, which is one of my disorders, and some people will struggle with like suicidal thoughts and hospitalization with just one disorder. So you could imagine 7 disorders. So yes, I use cannabis to get through the day. By the way, support SB 81 and SB 269. We want to decriminalize recreational use, and we want a comprehensive medical bill in the state of Texas. It's not too late for Texas to be a leader in this fight. It's time to get on board. It's time to stop playing around. Leave your reefer madness rhetoric at the door and bring me some intelligent arguments about why prohibition should continue.
You have a stressful day at work. You work a 9 to 5, and you come back home. You maybe you're a bachelor, maybe you're father of 2. You take a shower, you eat your dinner, and then you smoke a bowl, and then you go to bed. Like when we talk about or you take a dab. It's not an argument. What's wrong with just having some put to the side to not we're not talking medical use. We're saying, well, I just want to smoke a bowl just to cap off.
What we call freedom of choice, and that's liberty is another good word to use. What I would say is that, to me, I like freedom of choice. If you can justify someone having a cigarette, a cigar, a glass of wine, you can justify. You're right. Somebody coming home having a bowl. There's people that are strung out on other prescription drugs, and you can buy those right over the counter.
Your child can go buy Advil and over the counter if they just happen to have the money on them, and OD on an over the counter medication that they may have just wanted to see what happens.
But let's bust them through with M16s over counter.
Yeah, that's a shame. I have a story to share. I have a daughter, and I sent her in the store one time when she was young, and she had to come out, and I had to go in and get markers because of kids sniffing glue and all that kind of stuff. But they can still go buy this. And I am truly an advocate of responsible use, because I think the cannabis community is a very responsible, because it's been here and it's been here forever. It's not like this is some new movement. It's just coming out. So I really think it's probably the most responsible group of people, because it's been the black market forever.
It doesn't, but it never had to be about the black market, marijuana, cannabis in general. I think, when the government figured out that hemp is different than marijuana, that's when they quietly said, well, farmers, just get a license and we'll let you grow it. But if we take a look at the Marijuana Tax Stamp Act of 1910, it never illegalized cannabis. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to attack the agriculture. They were trying to hit the farmers, because they know someone, like we were talking about, somebody's growing this, and somebody's a part of a black market that is producing this. And like Al Capone figured out in the early 1900s, keep alcohol illegal. That's fine. I know the people who know how to make it. Right. I pay them. They give it to me, and then I sell it. I mean, commerce is commerce at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, and that's why you should bring it to light, as I spoke of earlier. Bring it to light and make it a adult use responsible program. And then for people that abuse it, because there are negative impacts sometimes, you provide treatment and education. That's the piece we're missing. You take all that government spending that you spend on criminalizing and ripping apart communities, and you reinvest that in building communities.
Education. What happened? The endocannabinoid system. We learned about it from over at the Teacup seminar, where they were just discussing how it brings homeostasis back to the body. Yeah. This is not medical. This is just how your body, the biomechanics. Yeah.
It's like getting an oil change or a tune-up. Refreshing the body after a hard day's work. So that's a very good point, and I think that is to everyone's advantage as citizens. Should have that option as responsible use, because there's so many children, infants that need low dosages for seizures and things like that. If we're not out there experimenting in all these clinical trials, because I just read an article that clinical trials are showing very positive signs of shrinking brain tumors overseas.
And I don't remember, I want to give them a shout out, but I don't remember the name of the group, the Moms for Marijuana group, that is talking about seizures. seizures and MS and cerebral palsy and a couple other ones. How when they give their children, they did everything. They played the game. They said, you know what, the pharmaceutical industry is giving us this for our children, and it's not working. We don't know what else to do. Let's try cannabis. And they are just recording the results. And then shout out to Team Alexis, who called out Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, saying that look, can you get your best guys when you take over to study cannabis? Look at what it's done for her life. Like, come on. And I mean that's just the medical side. But I wanna delve. We haven't really done that here on Roundtable. Really just talk the talk with recreational. That responsible use in my opinion, it can lead the charge no matter what perspective you're coming from in saying to the federal government, we know how to utilize marijuana.
So
we know how to utilize hemp.
Let's tackle this point. Every day here on these roads here in the state of Texas, I see on the road, it has a death toll, and it makes me sad every single day because all that counter does is go up every day. Yeah. But there has never been a billboard that says marijuana deaths. And matter of fact, I just read an article in Denver, Colorado. Alcohol sales are declining in all the recreational states. Yep. So that right there is data. People
can't sell something that doesn't sell well, right?
Right. This thing, it's already responsible. The people that have created this groundswell of movement that we are on, the whole West Coast has decided that you can have responsible use, and that's important. Any American should deserve that option, and that's what we're here to say, people. So I'm gonna let my man Wagon clean this up.
KC, we haven't been letting you talk. We've been
no, man. Y'all been totally crapping me out, man. So I talk about this a lot with my friends out in California and even Colorado. So, people say like, well, you just want to get high, and I hear that from a lot of religious conservatives here in Texas. And you know what? So what? Maybe I do, right?
That's the typical base.
So maybe I just want to get high, and guess what? So maybe I want to drink a cup of coffee.
What did they say? Moderation is key. I mean, like on the recreational side, moderation really is key. I've just been hitting it from the angle of commerce. I think that there's just too much. There's too much money in, like, we all know. And shout out to the hustlers that out there that don't want to expose themselves, that are part of the Roundtable community. But still, shout out to you, because like you are
keep
also
this thing going.
You are also businessmen. I mean, your title is the same. The only thing you have to attach to it is you're criminal.
Well, let's clean that up. This is what I'm gonna tell you. We're hold on one second. Those people are pioneers. They didn't let us, understand. We're good, baby. This is all good. This is all love here. So. Those guys were pioneers. If you think about it, man, they were testing the market. They have all the data. Those guys that you were talking about, all the guys that are no longer here with us or serving a sentence for, right. Those guys were pioneers. But, I do really, truly believe in responsible use, because the one reason is because if we teach it, it can work.
This is a safe space in this house, all right? Even though we're in Texas, words like criminal and drug addict, we don't go throw that around here. Nobody's murdering.
I don't think well, thank you for bringing that up, KC. Shout out to KC and Wagon Industries. I personally do not believe that the hustlers are criminals. I'm using the government's terminology. We all, let's not be stupid. Malcolm always said that, everybody can't be out here to support us. So some of the ones that are watching that are, maybe sleeper cells, or maybe just, this is their job to wiretap the vets. All we're talking about when we talk about recreational use, it is a different argument when we say recreational versus medical. But on the recreational side, you can't argue with the facts about commerce versus agriculture. But at the individual level, you can't argue with responsible use. Just a person that says, I just want to rip a bowl before I go to bed, or I just want to wake and bake before I, go to work, or, I just want to smoke because it inspires me as an artist. I personally
that's
follow
the one that people don't realize, the inspiration that it brings to it. It's not just about the medicinal cannabis. It's the ancillary businesses that it's created in the Colorados and Californias that support that type of environment. Like Colorado just passed Senate Bill 300. Shout out to Vicente and Cedarburg in Colorado. But that's for social use. So now they're going to have areas where the people can come and socialize, and they don't have to be in the closet.